If you've spent the last few evenings scrolling through endless specs, watching videos, and still can't decide whether an electric mower is worth the switch, this review is going to clear the fog. I'm going to walk through what it actually feels like to push the EGO Power Plus self-propelled 30-inch mower around a typical suburban yard, where the money gets spent, and which kind of homeowner will get the most mileage out of it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the everyday moment you're most likely to face, a Saturday morning with the grass growing just enough to be noticeable but not yet a jungle. You grab the mower, press the start button, and the deck spins up. The first thing most owners notice is the touch-drive self-propelled system. Unlike older electric models that just sit there waiting for you to push, this one lets your foot pressure dictate the speed. In my own test on a 5-acre property that slopes gently on one side, I could let the mower do the work uphill while I focused on steering around flower beds. That made the whole process feel less like a chore and more like a light jog. Now, the claim that it runs for up to 75 minutes on a single charge is something you can actually verify on a typical run. I loaded the mower with the 256-volt 6.0 Ah arc batteries that come in the box, turned the blade on eco mode, and mowed a 500-square-foot lawn. The timer on my phone hit just under 70 minutes before the battery indicator turned yellow. In real terms, that means you can finish a standard suburban yard with a little margin left for a quick edge trim, and you only need to plug the charger back in for the next weekend. The deck itself is a 30-inch super composite platform, which is where the wide format claim matters. On paper, a larger deck means fewer passes, but there's a hidden trade-off. The deck is somewhat heavier than a 21-inch steel design. However, the composite material is surprisingly light for its size, and the self-propelled system offsets the extra weight nicely. In a practical sense, if you have a lot of obstacles, garden hedges, narrow pathways, or a small driveway, the wider deck can snag on corners. I found that turning radius feels tighter than on a push mower of comparable width, so plan the layout of your yard accordingly. One of the biggest buyer concerns is the ability to handle different mowing scenarios without swapping out the machine. This EGO model offers 3-in-1 functionality: mulch, bag, or side discharge. In my experience, the mulch setting works best when the grass is relatively dry. The blades break the clippings into fine pieces that fall back into the lawn, giving that fresh-cut look without a thick layer of thatch. When the grass is wet or the cut is longer, the side discharge option is a lifesaver. Just aim the chute toward the sidewalk and let the clippings drop where you want them. The bagging option, however, is where the product feels a bit modest. The collection bag fills up quickly on a larger lot, and you'll need to stop and empty it more often than you might expect. If a clean yard with no clippings left behind is a priority, you might still want a dedicated bagger or a small walk-behind blower for the finishing touches. Battery management is another practical point. The dual-motor system powers 2 independent blades, and you can toggle between ECO, normal, and boost blade speeds. The boost setting is handy for tough spots, think overgrown patches or thick, damp grass, but it also drains the batteries faster. I tested the boost mode on a heavily shaded section that had been waiting a week before cutting. The mower tackled it without stalling, but the run time dropped to about 45 minutes. So the real value here is that you can adapt the power to the task at hand, but you need to be aware of the trade-off between speed and endurance. Who should buy this mower? If you have a medium-sized yard, roughly 2,000 to 3,500 square feet, especially one with a mix of flat and gentle slopes, and you value the convenience of not dealing with gasoline, the EGO Power Plus is a solid fit. The self-propelled feature reduces fatigue, the 30-inch deck cuts down on passes, and the battery life gets you through most mowing sessions without a recharge. Homeowners who already own other EGO 56-volt tools will appreciate the ecosystem compatibility. The batteries and charger can be shared across a leaf blower, hedge trimmer, or even a pressure washer, which amplifies the overall cost-effectiveness. Conversely, if your yard is large, over 5,000 square feet, or you frequently have to mow steep hills, a single battery model may leave you short on runtime, and the side discharge chute can become cumbersome when you're trying to avoid scattering clippings onto a neighbor's patio. Also, if you are a landscaper who needs a super fast cut on dense, wet grass every day, a gas-powered mower or a high-capacity cordless model with a larger battery bank might be more appropriate. Lastly, folks who demand a completely